everybody, welcome to my channel.
Elisabeth Shue is an American actress known for her versatility and enduring presence in Hollywood since the 1980s. Born on October 6, 1963, in Wilmington, Delaware, Shue began her career in television commercials before transitioning to film. She gained early recognition for her role as Allie Mills, the love interest of Ralph Macchio's character in The Karate Kid, 1984. This breakout role made her a household name and led to a string of high-profile roles throughout the 80s and 90s. Shue is particularly known for starring in iconic films such as Back to the Future Part 2 and Part 3, replacing Claudia Wells as Jennifer Parker, Adventures in Babysitting, 1987, and Cocktail, 1988, opposite Tom Cruise. One of her most critically acclaimed performances came in Leaving Las Vegas, 1995, in which she played a compassionate prostitute opposite Nicolas Cage. Her role earned her an Academy Award nomination for Best Actress and solidified her reputation as a serious dramatic talent. In the 2000s and 2010s, Shue continued to take on a variety of roles in both film and television. She appeared in Hollow Man, 2000, Hide and Seek, 2005, and later joined the cast of CSI: Crime Scene Investigation as Julie Finley. More recently, she gained attention for her appearance in the hit Amazon series The Boys, reprising her role in a flashback after a shocking Season 1 arc. Elisabeth Shue is also known for her athleticism and intellect. She was a competitive gymnast in her youth and studied at Harvard University, returning to complete her degree years after beginning her acting career. Her blend of charm, talent, and resilience has kept her relevant across decades, making her one of the most respected actresses of her generation. Early life and education. Elisabeth Judson Shue was born into a well-educated, upper-middle-class family. Her father, James Shue, was a lawyer and real estate developer, and her mother, Ann Brewster, was a bank executive. She has three brothers, including Andrew Shue, who also found fame as an actor on Melrose Place. Elisabeth's parents divorced when she was young, which she has cited as a defining experience in her life. Shue attended Wellesley College and then transferred to Harvard University, where she studied government. She put her education on hold to pursue acting but eventually returned and graduated from Harvard in 2000, demonstrating a lifelong commitment to learning. Breakthrough and career highlights. While still in college, Shue began appearing in television commercials for brands like Burger King and Hellmann's Mayonnaise. Her wholesome image made her a natural fit for the role of Allie in The Karate Kid, which catapulted her to stardom. Some major highlights from her career include Adventures in Babysitting, 1987, her first starring role, showcasing her comedic timing and ability to carry a film as the lead. Cocktail, 1988, starring opposite Tom Cruise. The film was a box office success and solidified her mainstream appeal. Back to the Future Part 2 and 3, 1989, 1990, taking over the role of Jennifer Parker from Claudia Wells. She was introduced to a new generation of fans. Leaving Las Vegas, 1995, a major turning point in her career. Her raw, fearless performance as Sarah, a sex worker in a doomed romance with an alcoholic, Nicolas Cage, earned her an Academy Award nomination for Best Actress, a Golden Globe nomination awards from the Los Angeles Film Critics Association and the Independent Spirit Awards. Later career and recent work. In the 2000s, Shue transitioned into more mature roles and began working more frequently in television. Notable appearances include CSI: Crime Scene Investigation, as forensic investigator Julie Finley from 2012 to 2015. The Boys, 2019, played Madeline Stillwell, a cunning corporate executive. Though her character was killed off in season 1, her performance left a lasting impression and she returned briefly in season 2 flashbacks. She also had roles in indie films and genre movies like Piranha 3D, 2010, Battle of the Sexes, 2017, and Death Wish, 2018, showcasing her continued range and ability to shift between drama, comedy, and action. Personal life. Elisabeth Shue is married to film director Davis Guggenheim. An inconvenient truth, he named me Malala. The couple has 3 children. She maintains a relatively private personal life, preferring to focus on family when not working. Outside of acting, Shue is known for her athleticism. She was once a nationally ranked junior tennis player and also competed in gymnastics. This background often informed her physically demanding roles and gave her a grounded, active screen presence. Legacy. Elisabeth Shue remains an admired figure in Hollywood, not just for her early blockbuster success but for her steady transition into more nuanced, character-driven work. She stands out as an actress who has grown with her craft. Avoiding typecasting and embracing diverse roles across genres and media. Career reinvention and staying power. One of the most impressive aspects of Elisabeth Shue's career is her ability to reinvent herself while maintaining audience respect. Unlike many 80s teen stars whose careers faded, Shue made a successful transition into adult roles. Her shift from girl next door parts to emotionally complex characters was marked by her fearless performance in Leaving Las Vegas. This pivot wasn't just about taking on serious roles, it was a statement about depth, longevity, and artistic integrity. Her return to Harvard in the late 1990s, after achieving major fame, also reflects her grounded personality and drive for personal fulfillment beyond Hollywood. Movie Camera Select filmography highlights The Karate Kid, 1984, as Allie Mills. She became one of the most memorable teen characters of the 1980s. Adventures in Babysitting, 1987, her breakout lead role, a cult classic that showed her comic timing and charisma. Cocktail, 1988, a global hit and one of the key romantic roles of her early career. Back to the Future Part 2 and 3, 1989-1990, cemented her pop culture legacy. Soap Dish, 1991, showed her comedic chops in a star-studded satire. Leaving Las Vegas, 1995, Academy Award-nominated performance, considered her artistic peak. The Saint, 1997, opposite Val Kilmer, a mix of romance, science, and espionage. Hollow Man, 2000, a box office success, she held her own in a sci-fi, horror setting opposite Kevin Bacon. Piranha 3D, 2010, a fun return to genre film, playing against type as a tough sheriff. Battle of the Sexes, 2017, played Billie Jean King's supportive manager in this gender politics-themed sports drama. The Boys, 2019, her role as Madeline Stillwell added layers of menace and manipulation to her portfolio. Trophy critical recognition. Though Leaving Las Vegas was her most awarded role, Shue has remained respected among critics for her performances, even when the films themselves received mixed reviews. She is often praised for bringing emotional authenticity and vulnerability to her characters, whether she's playing a suburban mom, a scientist, or a high-powered executive. Brain intelligence and authenticity. Elisabeth Shue's academic background and athletic history make her stand out in an industry where physicality and intellect are rarely discussed together. She often selects roles that reflect an inner strength or quiet complexity. This combination of intellect, humility, and on-screen presence gives her enduring credibility, especially among audiences who've grown up with her work. DNA. Cultural impact and generational appeal. Elisabeth Shue occupies a unique space in pop culture. She's beloved by multiple generations. Gen Xers remember her as an 80s icon. Millennials associate her with Back to the Future and CSI. Gen Z met her through The Boys and through nostalgic rediscovery on streaming platforms. She's also inspired numerous references in media. For example, the character Marty in Stranger Things Season 3 mentions her as a dream girl, a nod to her 1980s it girl status. Red Heart personal life and philanthropy. Shue keeps a relatively low public profile, which adds to her air of elegance and mystery. She's been married to Davis Guggenheim since 1994, a rare example of a long-lasting Hollywood marriage. Together, they support educational and environmental causes, especially through Guggenheim's documentary work. Anti-Clockwise Arrow's ongoing work. Elisabeth Shue continues to take on new roles, balancing TV, film, and occasional voice work. She has hinted at being selective with projects, choosing stories that interest her rather than chasing fame. This quiet confidence has earned her respect among industry peers and fans alike. Acting style and method. Elisabeth Shue is known for her naturalistic acting style, a quality that helps her blend seamlessly into a wide range of genres. From intense drama to action to quirky comedy, she doesn't rely on theatrics. Instead, she brings a grounded realism to her characters. Directors have often praised her emotional availability and fearlessness, especially in roles that demand vulnerability. In Leaving Las Vegas, Shue prepared for the role of Sarah by spending time with real-life sex workers in Las Vegas. She journaled in character, developed a backstory, and intentionally left parts of herself exposed on screen. It was not just a role, it was an immersive experience that transformed her public image from charming ingenue to serious actress. Clapperboard. Behind the scenes, notable stories. Back to the Future switch. Elisabeth Shue wasn't originally cast as Jennifer Parker. She replaced Claudia Wells after Wells stepped away due to personal reasons. Interestingly, Back to the Future Part 2 had to reshoot the final scene of Part 1, frame for frame, with Shue inserted instead. That precision shows how carefully she adapted to an iconic role without disrupting the continuity of a beloved franchise. Adventures in Babysitting. The film was originally seen as risky for Disney due to its slightly edgier tone. Shue's ability to balance comic chaos with emotional sincerity is widely credited for making it a hit. It also became a trailblazer for teen comedies led by women, something rare in the 80s. The Boys. When Shue was cast in The Boys, it was a calculated twist, taking someone associated with warmth and trust, then subverting expectations. As Madeline Stillwell, Shue weaponized charm and maternal instinct to control superheroes and boardrooms alike. Her death scene in Season 1 is still considered one of the show's most shocking moments. Brain. Public image. Brains, beauty, and balance. Elisabeth Shue's public image has always been slightly different from her peers. She didn't chase celebrity status, didn't dominate tabloids, and didn't pivot to high-profile endorsements or reality TV. Instead, she returned to Harvard and earned her degree focused on raising her children, selected roles based on substance, not exposure. This restraint has preserved her mystique and allowed her to age in the public eye with dignity. She's often cited alongside actresses like Laura Linney and Julianne Moore, women who play smart, grounded, emotionally rich characters well into their 50s and 60s. Speech. Balloon quotes about and by Shue. Elisabeth was completely unafraid. She's the kind of actress who doesn't mind if you see her sweat. She wants to be real. Mike Figgis, director of Leaving Las Vegas. I never really saw myself as someone who could do this forever. But I've realized I'm happiest when I'm working, when I'm disappearing into someone else's skin. Elisabeth Shue books. Lesser known facts. Name origin. Her full name is Elisabeth Shue. Judson comes from her mother's side. She lost her older brother, William, in a tragic accident while she was in college. This loss deeply affected her and reportedly shaped her emotional performances, especially in grief-related roles. Shue appeared in music videos, including Don Henley's The Boys of Summer, giving her early pop culture visibility beyond film. She's a certified scuba diver, and her love for the ocean has shaped some of her vacation choices and charitable work. Classical building cultural legacy. Elisabeth Shue is part of a rare class of actors who have been both pop culture icons and critical darlings. Her face was on locker doors and magazine covers in the 80s, but by the 90s, she was earning Oscar nominations. Few performers maintain that kind of dual appeal across decades. Her influence is also seen in today's wave of strong yet emotionally layered female leads. You can trace the DNA of many characters, from Claire Danes in Homeland to Rachel McAdams in Spotlight, back to the template Shue helped shape. Comparison with other 1980s icons. In the 1980s, many young actresses rose to stardom, but each had a distinct brand. Here's how Elisabeth Shue compared. Meg Ryan. Known as America's Sweetheart, with a focus on romantic comedies like When Harry Met Sally, Meg leaned into bubbly, quirky charm. Shue, on the other hand, played the grounded, athletic, all-American girl, more subtle and emotionally layered. Jennifer Jason Leigh. Leigh often took on darker, offbeat roles in indie cinema, Georgia, Last Exit to Brooklyn, while Shue moved between mainstream blockbusters and prestige drama, offering both accessibility and gravitas. Winona Ryder. A Gen X icon who embodied youthful alienation in films like Heathers and Edward Scissorhands. Ryder played neurotic and introspective. Shue played practical and emotionally open. What sets Shue apart is that she wasn't typecast. She began as the pretty, sweet love interest but evolved into complex women with agency, often without shedding her naturalistic appeal. Graduation cap. Intellectual and cultural influence. Elisabeth Shue paved the way for actresses who refused to be boxed in by image alone. Her return to Harvard was a subtle but powerful act of self-definition. She reminded the industry that a beautiful, successful woman could also be intellectually serious. In this way, Shue quietly disrupted the dumb blonde stereotype that still haunted many of her contemporaries. Her intelligence, coupled with her athleticism, has become a prototype for modern, multifaceted heroines. Think Jennifer Lawrence in The Hunger Games, or Emily Blunt in Sicario and Edge of Tomorrow. These women are smart, capable, and emotionally resonant, much like Shue's characters, especially in the late 90s. Film projector. Underrated performances. While she's best known for blockbusters and Leaving Las Vegas, Shue has some underrated gems. Molly, 1999. A little-known indie film where she plays an autistic woman. The film itself was flawed, but her performance was deeply committed and compassionate. Mysterious Skin, 2004. She played a mother trying to protect her traumatized son in this powerful, disturbing drama by Greg Araki. Greyhound, 2020. In a brief but memorable role opposite Tom Hanks, she provided a quiet emotional anchor in a tightly wound World War II naval thriller. These roles reflect her willingness to go off the beaten path and take on emotionally difficult material. Anti-clockwise. Arrow's comeback culture and Elisabeth Shue's quiet resurgence in the age of reboots, nostalgia, and streaming content. Shue's legacy is being rediscovered. Her reappearance in Cobra Kai Season 3, as Allie Mills, was highly anticipated and extremely well received. Fans loved that she brought nuance and maturity to a character who once represented youthful love. The boys introduced her to an entirely new generation of fans, many of whom praised her for playing against type. These appearances weren't just fan service, they were strategically written to deepen her characters and showcase her range across decades. Speaking head industry perception, Shue is frequently described by directors and actors as professional and low-maintenance, emotionally fearless, unaffected by fame, grounded and intelligent. Her avoidance of tabloid fame, plastic surgery trends, and hyper-marketed personal branding makes her seem genuinely timeless, not because she's stuck in the past, but because she never relied on gimmicks to stay relevant. Trophy-wise, she still matters. Representation of complex femininity. Shue's characters often live in the in-between spaces, not saintly, not broken, just human. Crossover success. Very few actors transition from teen heartthrob roles to Oscar-nominated performances in respected genre TV, and fewer do it without public meltdowns or reinvention campaigns. Cultural anchor. In retrospectives about the 80s and 90s, her name frequently comes up alongside the era's most defining stars, because she was in the defining films. Gear current status as of now. Elisabeth Shue continues to work selectively, balancing film, TV, and personal life. She remains represented by top-tier agencies and is frequently rumored to be in talks for streaming projects and indie films that focus on female-led storytelling. Her name still draws excitement from both nostalgic fans and serious cinephiles. Leaving Las Vegas. The performance that changed everything in Leaving Las Vegas, 1995, Elisabeth Shue plays Sarah, a prostitute who forms a deeply human and tragic bond with Ben, Nicolas Cage, an alcoholic who moves to Las Vegas to drink himself to death. The role was emotionally brutal and stripped of glamour, a far cry from her earlier characters. Why it's career-defining. Authenticity. Shue immersed herself in research, meeting sex workers and observing life on the margins. Risk. Taking on a gritty, North Carolina 17-rated film after years as a mainstream actress showed bravery and range. Critical praise. Her performance was called shattering by Roger Ebert and miraculously unforced by the New York Times. Oscar nomination. Best Actress. Up against Meryl Streep and Sharon Stone, and she held her ground. Cultural impact. Sarah was one of the few 1990s female characters allowed to be sexual, broken, kind, angry, and strong at the same time. It remains a benchmark for actresses breaking free from the pretty girlfriend mold. Biceps impact on female representation in film. Elisabeth Shue helped quietly evolve Hollywood's depiction of women by embodying characters who were independent without being cold, sexual without being objectified, nurturing without being defined by motherhood, flawed without being punished by the script. Her characters, especially in Adventures in Babysitting, The Saint, and Leaving Las Vegas, laid the groundwork for more dimensional women in male-driven narratives. Film frames. Genre queen. From cult classics to sci-fi staples, Elisabeth Shue has become a stealth icon in several fan-favorite genres: sci-fi, fantasy, Back to the Future, Hollow Man, action, thriller, The Saint, Death Wish, teen comedy, Adventures in Babysitting, superhero, dark satire, The Boys, horror, exploitation. Piranha 3D. Each fandom sees her as the face of a pivotal moment in its genre, a rare cross-audience legacy. Handshake relationships with co-stars and directors. Shue is respected in the industry for being collaborative, professional, and ego-free. A few notable connections. Nicolas Cage. The two formed a strong creative bond on Leaving Las Vegas, often improvising scenes. Robert Zemeckis, Back to the Future. Her ability to integrate seamlessly into a huge franchise is a testament to her adaptability. Tom Hanks, Greyhound. He's publicly praised her subtlety and restraint. Cobra Kai cast. Her return was described by showrunners as an anchor for the past, but one that added depth to the present. She's known to uplift the actors around her rather than steal focus. Rainbow. What makes her a cult icon? Relatability. She wasn't marketed as unattainable, she was you, your babysitter, your first crush, your big sister. Longevity. From VHS rentals to streaming favorites. Her films never disappeared. Reinvention. She never got stuck in one genre or image. Respect. In every era, 80s, 90s, 2000s, and now, she's been admired by filmmakers, critics, and fans alike. Film frames what a career tribute might look like today if someone were to curate a retrospective of Elisabeth Shue's career, say, for a Criterion Collection release, a film festival, or a streaming special. It might look like this. Title: Elisabeth Shue, Beyond the Frame. Featured films: The Karate Kid, her debut into pop culture adventures in Babysitting, Comedy Queen, Back to the Future 2, 3, franchise Immortality, Leaving Las Vegas, her masterwork The Saint, a high gloss espionage era lead role The Boys, subversion of every expectation Greyhound, or Mysterious Skin, as a modern-day supporting powerhouse.
Bye bye. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.